Tear.
Oh, good morning. Oh, it's so early. We've got a lot to do today.
Thirsty. Many cups. So, he's back. This worldwide traveler.
Yes.
Just curious, did he bring with him the riches of the East like he said he would?
No.
He didn't?
No, of course he didn't. And you know he didn't. Now leave Esther alone and get out of the kitchen.
Woman, was I talking to you? No. I wasn't, so hold your tongue.
In this kitchen, you will behave yourself like a civilized human being. And if you can't, you have to go back out to the barn with the rest of the pigs.
You know, it's really...
Now leave her alone.
You know, it's really none of your business what I say to her.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. And besides, I'm just trying to keep her from making a fool of herself.
You? Isn't that like the blind leading the blind?
You know what? If your tongue were cut out, it would improve your disposition immensely.
Perhaps. But if yours were cut out, people might think you were profound instead of having to listen to you talk and realizing you're just profoundly stupid.
You know, they say women speak 20,000 words a day, and I'm pretty sure you get that done by breakfast. Now, can I finish speaking with Esther?
Sure. If she's foolish enough to waste her time listening to you, what difference does it make to me?
Exactly. All right. So, Esther, how did he return?
Well, you know.
I really don't. I mean, I was sent to town yesterday, so I have heard hardly anything.
Well, even so, you've probably...
Well, I'd like to hear from you.
For goodness sake, why don't you stop?
Woman, be quiet. Esther, how did he return?
He came alone.
Alone? So what did he bring with him?
Nothing.
Nothing? What about all the nice clothes he was wearing when he left?
They're gone.
And the camels?
They're gone too.
And what about, don't tell me the money, the money's gone?
Yes.
All of it?
Yes, he returned with nothing.
A fool and his money. That's hard to believe. What did his father have to say?
Well, Miriam said that the master went out to the gate as he had done every day since Nathan left. And when he saw him a long ways off, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and brought him back.
Sounds like him. I suppose you would do that. You know, I don't understand. I don't know. I guess it's just the return of the wasteful prodigal responsible for all these shenanigans going on around here.
Yes, the master had the fatted calf killed. Everybody was so happy he had returned.
Well, not everyone was happy.
What do you mean?
What do you mean what I mean? I mean, don't you remember? Is your memory that short that you don't remember what happened when he left? How Jotham and Zadok, they had to go find new jobs because this fool wanted to go travel the world. And then you and I, we had to do twice the work. I mean, don't you remember that?
Yes, but they say that he's changed, that he's different.
Yeah, he's changed all right. He's out of money.
No, that's not what I meant.
There is no use arguing with him, Esther. He never changes his mind. Besides, he's just mad that now he has to look after the pigs as well as the ducks.
Oh, I see.
Yes, now he not only waddles while he rocks, he smells bad doing it.
Reba, there's this old saying.
Oh, a curse on you and your old sayings. Why don't you just write them all down in a book?
Okay, maybe I will.
Good, then we can burn the book.
Anyways. All right. It's really no secret, and I'll admit it. I just don't like the young master. I don't like him. I don't like how he only thinks of himself and how he treats his servants like they're things, you know, like they're possessions and not like they're people. I mean, don't you remember, Esther, how he treated you?
Yes, I remember.
Well, don't forget it. And also, he's one of the rich. And the rich, I mean, they just take advantage of people. They use people. And then when they're done with them, they just throw them out like they're broken toys.
But the master's not like that, and he's rich.
I guess so. I suppose the master isn't like that. But really, there's no one like the master. And I just pray to God that his sons would be more like him. But they're not.
But people do change, amen.
Yeah, but not very often. I mean, you tell me he's changed. You tell me he's changed, and all that I know is that I got to get up every morning, go feed those filthy pigs, and then I got to stare at his arrogant face and listen to all his demands, despite everything he did to his family, to his father, to us. I mean, don't you remember how he treated you?
Yes, I remember.
Well, don't forget it. Elizabeth, what does she know?
Well, I talked to her. I didn't actually talk to Nathan, but I talked to Elizabeth, and she told me.
Elizabeth, what does she know? She doesn't know anything. I mean, she wouldn't criticize the devil himself.
That's quite different from you, isn't it, Amon?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you always look for the bad rather than the good in people. And then, if you find something wrong, you label them that way for all time.
Oh, do I?
Yes, you do. And you never treat people like they're human beings. You don't treat them, you never change your mind, unless it's for the worse.
Well, people don't change their mind for the better very often. And besides, you know, it's probably the safest way.
That's always what you look for, isn't it, Amon? The safest way. You like to look down your nose at people so you can feel superior to them, don't you? That way you never change your mind. You never admit you could be wrong.
Oh, I admit when I'm wrong. And I've been wrong before. Matter of fact, I used to think you would make a good wife. And now, I wouldn't marry you if you were the last woman on this earth.
Of course you wouldn't. You wouldn't get the chance. Besides, as clumsy as you are, you'd probably be trampled to death in the rush.
You know, you have a rather exaggerated opinion. Who's that?
That's Asa. Can't you recognize his charming voice? And Deborah, too.
What are they doing up so early?
Who knows? Probably making sure you didn't set the pig barn on fire.
Very funny.
Well, he doesn't sound too happy.
Well, when is he happy? I mean, have you ever seen his teeth? Ever seen him smile? I mean, if I had seen him eat, I wouldn't know he had any teeth.
You better watch your tongue, Amon. He wasn't very happy at all the attention Nathan got last night.
I'm sure he was. And, you know, couldn't happen to a nicer fella if you ask me.
But still, you better be careful. You know, when the master passes on...
Listen, when the master passes on, old Amon here, I'm moving on too. And you'll never catch me working for either of his sons, because one of them is all work, the other one's all play, and there's just no in between. And another thing,
Ah, Amon. Have you fed the pigs yet?
Yes, sir.
The ones in the north barn too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you seen Master Nathan yet this morning?
I haven't, sir.
Reba, what about you?
No, sir.
Esther?
No, sir.
Well, Amon, if Master Nathan comes in, would you let me know right away because I want to talk to him?
Yes, sir.
Oh, and Amon, tell Lemu I need to talk to him as well.
Yes, sir.
Right away. Now, Deborah, where will you be after I talk to Nathan?
I'll be up in my room.
Okay, I'll see you later then.
Is grandmother awake yet?
Yes, ma'am, she's getting dressed.
And why didn't you stay up and help her get dressed?
Ma'am, I told her I would be happy to help her, but she insisted that she wanted
just
to
never
wait.
mind. Never mind. She's in another one of those moods again. Fine. I'll go help her. Esther,
Yes, ma'am.
if Master Nathan comes in, tell him I'd like to speak with him.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll be upstairs.
My, Master Nathan certainly is in demand this morning, isn't he?
Yes, I guess so. But why do you think Deborah wanted to speak to him?
You don't remember? Well, no, I guess you wouldn't. I guess it happened before you came.
What happened, Reba?
Why, the big romance between Nathan and Deborah. You never knew about it?
Well, I had heard that Nathan had been in love, but I didn't know it was with Deborah.
Oh, yes. Everything was going so smoothly, she'd even started planning the wedding. When suddenly, Master Nathan called it off, just like that. I guess she was determined to marry into this family.
Why do you think he called it off?
Who knows? Anyway, after he left, Deborah started casting her eyes on Asa. And then, what do you know? We had a wedding here after all. I guess she was determined to marry into the family.
Do you think she's happy, Reba?
Being married to a wealthy man doesn't always mean you're happy, Esther. Personally, I don't see how anyone can be married to Asa and happy at the same time.
But she's trying to fit in, don't you think?
When she has to. When she can't get her own way, she does.
But grandmother always asks for her.
Yes, she does.
Thanks, bud.
But why does she ask for her? Did you ever think of that? Don't let the old lady fool you. She's not nearly as deaf or as helpless as she appears to be. She is trying to keep the young mistress in line.
Do you really think so?
Oh, absolutely. Believe me, she'll teach Deborah a lesson or two before she passes on.
I suppose she will. But do you really think that Nathan...
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a bit chilly outside. Do you mind if I come in and warm up?
Of course not, sir. It's your house.
Thank you. It's good to see you again, Reba.
You too, sir.
And you too, Esther.
Thank you. Sir, will you be here for a while?
Well, at least until I can thaw out. Why do you ask?
Well, your brother's wife is upstairs, and she said she wanted to speak to you if you came in here.
Yeah, sure. I can talk to her.
Thank you, sir. I'll get her right away.
Well, you don't have to hurry. I can't believe it. Deborah married my brother. Things have really changed over the last couple years, haven't they, Reba?
Yes, sir, they have.
Do you think I've changed, Reba?
They say you have.
But what do you think?
It's really hard for me to say, sir. I've hardly seen you since you've come back.
You're honest, Reba. And I like that. I just had it pretty rough the last couple years, and I just hope I can learn something from that. So, how are things going with you?
I have no complaints.
That's a nice non-committal answer.
Well, I can't say I'm deliriously happy to be stirring this pot at 7 in the morning.
No, I don't think you are.
But like I said, I have no complaints. Your father is a good master.
I'm glad you think so.
He treats us more like members of the family rather than servants.
I know. He always has, I guess. How are you getting along with the new mistress?
Getting by.
Just getting by?
Well,
I see you don't really want to talk about it?
perhaps you might say that.
Okay. Well, if there's anything that I can do,
Oh, no,
I'd be glad to help.
it'll be all right. Thank you, sir.
You sure?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Deborah.
Reba, why don't you go upstairs and help Esther with grandmother? She's getting ready to come down soon.
Okay, I will.
So, you came back.
Yes, I did.
For how long?
I don't know. Does it matter?
To me? Of course not. I was just asking. Were you surprised to find me here, Nathan?
As brother's wife, yes.
Why?
I didn't think Asa would be the type of guy you'd want to marry.
Why not? He's your brother.
Yeah, he is.
You know, Nathan, you never did give me a reasonable explanation as to why you broke up with me or why you just took off a couple of months later.
No, I haven't, and I'm sorry.
I mean, we were supposed to be married.
Yeah, I know. I guess I just wasn't ready for marriage. But it was more than that, you see. I just wanted to get out of here. I was tired of my brother and my father making all the decisions. I mean, they were right, but I don't know. I guess I was just too immature to want to work and learn.
So you took your share of the inheritance and left.
Yeah, I wanted some excitement, man. I wanted to see the world.
And the money you were given?
I wasted it.
All of it?
All of it.
There's nothing left.
Nothing.
Then why did you come back, Nathan? For another handout?
No, I'm not looking for charity or pity, and I'm willing to work for my bread.
Oh, you will if Asa and I have anything to say about it. You know, Nathan, it's not pity I feel for you. It's disgust. Disgust at your selfishness and your wastefulness, your lack of concern for anyone but yourself. Didn't you even care how you hurt your father or your brother or the rest of us for that matter?
No, I didn't then, but I do now.
Yeah, right. Then why didn't you do your father a favor and just stay away? Why did you come back?
Because I was in trouble. So I came home. Whenever you're in trouble, all you do is think of home.
Oh, you do. You know, Nathan, you were given a fortune, half of everything your father owns. And now look at you. You come home less than a beggar. And to think I was once in love with you?
Were you ever really truly in love with me?
Why? What do you mean?
I'm beginning to wonder whether or not you were ever really interested in me, or more in love with what I stood for. You know, the big house, the servants, the prestige of marrying into a rich family.
No, of course not.
Isn't that what you were really interested in?
No.
And isn't that why you married my brother?
No.
Isn't it?
No. Well, okay. Maybe part of the reason I was interested in you and part of the reason I married Asa was what living here could offer me. I just wanted some of the good things in life. I wanted some security. Can you understand that, Nathan?
Yeah, I think so.
No, you can't. Because you never went to bed hungry as a child. I did. I can still hear my sister crying herself to sleep at night. I determined when I grew up, I would do whatever I had to do to make sure I never went hungry again. And I've done it.
But Deborah, are you happy here?
What did you say?
I asked you if you're happy here.
Well, of course I am. Who wouldn't be?
You don't sound very convincing.
Don't I?
The thing is, I just don't want you to make the same mistake I made.
What do you mean?
Okay, you're here because you feel like there's security here. And there is. But it's not where you think it is. I made that mistake. I thought it was in my father's things and his possessions. So I took my share and I left. I thought I was taking my security with me. But I was wrong. And then it was too late. I realized much later that the only real security is not in my father's possessions or his things, but it's in the love he shows his family and his servants. That's where it is. It's not in gold and silver and prestige. It's in love and respect.
Love and respect. Have you ever tried to eat it instead of bread?
No, but I tried living without loving and respecting my fellow man. And that didn't work, Deborah. When I had all this money, I had all these friends. They used me. I used them. All that money did was hide their selfishness in mine.
A very expensive lesson, wasn't it, Nathan?
Yeah. But I really learned something.
I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, not so fast there, girls. Oh, these joints don't bend like they used to.
You're doing good.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm an old lady. I need to take more time.
Would you like to sit down, Grandmother?
What's that?
She asked if you would like to sit down.
I don't hear very well anymore. Oh, I think I'd like to sit down now, please. Oh, no! Oh, this is too hot. Deborah! Deborah,
Yes,
where
yes,
are you?
yes, Grandmother. Yes, Grandmother.
Oh, Deborah, they're trying to cook me. Shrivel me up like an old onion. Help me over to the table, will you, dear?
Yes, come on.
Oh. You know, it's hard being such a frail old woman.
Yes, yes.
Oh. Takes so long to get anywhere you're going.
Yes, I know. There you go.
Oh, that's good. Oh, thank you, dear. Oh, you know, you did that just as nice as any servant would have.
Yes. Grandmother, would you like some tea?
What was that?
I said, would you like some tea?
Oh, can I see? Well, Not as good as I used to, but there's really not much to look at anyway.
No. What I asked was, would you like some tea?
I'd love to talk to you, dear. Could I have some tea first?
Yes, of course. Reba, bring grandmother some tea.
Oh, Deborah, dear, I'd really like you to pour my tea.
But Reba is the one who made the tea.
Oh, but I really would.
But Reba is the one who.
Oh, Deborah. Oh, this is good. Thank you, dear. You know, one of our servants could not have done this any better. Now, why did we come down here today?
You wanted to talk to your grandson.
Oh, I have grandchildren. Oh, that's right, my grandson. Where is he?
Hello, grandmother.
Don't mumble, boy.
Hello, grandmother.
Which one are you?
I'm Nathan.
Oh. Oh, the Wanderer. Yes, yes. The Playboy? Oh. Then you must have married the Plowboy, dear.
Yes, grandmother. I married Asa.
Oh, yes, Asa. Always had a dirty face when he was a little boy.
That was a long time ago, grandmother.
Good. Does he wash his face now?
Yes, he does.
Ah, that's good. You know, he never was too bright.
I thought you wanted to talk to Nathan, grandmother.
Yes, I do. And I want to talk to him alone. So you all can leave now.
Alone? You want to talk to him alone?
That's what I said. Are you hard of hearing, dear?
Well, no, I just, Reba, Esther, there's more work to be done out back. You can call us when you finish talking with her. You'll find she's failed quite a bit in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I can see that. So grandmother, you
Yes.
wanted to talk to me.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did. Are we alone?
Yeah, we're alone.
Are you sure we're alone?
I'm sure.
Okay. Oh, is anyone listening at the door?
I'll check.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nobody out there.
Good. Then we can talk. But first, I'd like another cup of tea.
But grandmother, let me get that for you.
Oh, no, I can get it myself. Besides, dear, you don't know how I like it.
But you don't know how to walk.
Well, I certainly do.
A couple of minutes ago, you could barely walk. It took 2 people to bring you down here.
Yes, it did. That's part of my act. You like it, eh?
So you're only pretending not to know how to walk.
You got that right there, dearie. That's the idea.
And what about your hearing?
Oh, that. Well, I added that about a year ago. Things were getting dull around here, and I didn't think I was getting enough attention.
But why, grandmother? Why are you doing this?
Oh, it's a long story. When your brother got married, he brought that fancy new wife of his home, and she started ordering everyone around. And me, I just got shoved in the corner like an old pot.
Well, I'm sorry about that, grandmother.
It's okay. It's okay. I figured the best way to handle it was an aged and infirm act. And you know what? I haven't had this much fun in years.
There you go.
And besides, I think I'm beginning to get Deborah shaped up a little bit.
So she's treating you better now.
Oh no, she hates me with a passion.
What kind of things are you doing?
Well, pretty much what you see here. I just play up my aches and pains. And I even add a few, you know. And the family has to treat me with respect. Your father sees to that. And when Deborah's around, I ask her to do the things for me that a servant usually does.
Well, why don't you just have Esther and Reba do these things for you?
Because I won't let them.
Okay.
I tell Deborah they don't do it right. They don't know what they're doing. And you know, when you're old and crotchety, you can get away with a lot of stuff. Besides, I always tell Deborah what a good job she's doing. And what can she do?
Well, that's something else, grandmother, but how is this really helping the situation?
What? What's that you said? Oh, never mind. You get into the act and you tend to forget.
Yeah.
Well, it's like this. When Deborah's nice, I ease off. But when she begins to get demanding, my infirmities just really begin to increase, and I need so much help that she doesn't have time to give anyone else any work.
Well, you definitely are a marvel, grandmother.
Oh, well, thank you, dear. I do my best. But now, let's talk about you.
Oh. Well, there's not much to talk about. I took my half of the inheritance and I left. I wasted it, all of it, and now I've come back home broke and penniless.
Oh, my. That's not a howling success story, is it?
No, I'm afraid it's not.
I was afraid this would happen, Nathan. I told your father to wait till you got some sense before he gave you any money. But he wouldn't listen. He just went ahead and smiled and did what he wanted to.
Well, perhaps he should have listened to you.
Of course he should have. I'd have had you threshing grain in the hot sun. Anyone with half-baked ideas like you had needs to get them sweated out before he's good for anything.
I just can't believe how stupid and naive I was.
That's true.
When I had all this money, I had all these friends. And when the money was gone, well, they were gone too.
And that surprised you?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I knew there were some people that were just trying to see what they could get. But, you know, I thought I met some friends too. I mean, there's this guy named Abram. When I first got to the city, we were like brothers. He saw that I was alone. He showed me how to have a good time. And when his business got in trouble, I loaned him money. And then I kind of forgot about the loan, grandmother, because he was my best friend. But then when I had nowhere else to go and I needed help, I went to Abram. I went to the house that I helped pay for. And he wouldn't even let me in the front gate.
Boy, you sure knew how to pick them, didn't you? Well, what happened then?
Well, when my last friend left me, I was broke and I was starving. I humbled my pride and I got a job just so I could eat. They sent me to work with pigs. Yeah, I hate pigs. But I was so hungry that I really was tempted to eat the husks that I was feeding them. But I was never more depressed when I was in the middle of that pig pen, standing in the middle of the slime and the stench of that pig pen.
Nathan, why didn't you come home?
I don't know, I guess I was just too proud. You know, when I left here, I left with all the confidence that I could face the world. I would have rather died than to admit that I had failed.
Well, what changed your mind?
I don't know, it was strange. An accident, really. I was out cursing and complaining one day, and I happened to look down into the filthy, putrid mud water of the pig pen, and I saw this angry, hate-filled face yelling back at me from the mud. I just felt so foolish and pathetic. The only person I had to blame for that whole situation was myself. I just stood there and I started to complain, and then I realized I had nothing to complain about. Everything I ever wanted in my whole life, all I had to do was ask for it, and it was given to me. Anything. It's tragic, really, when you realize you've gone through your whole life and you've never done anything for anybody else. All you've done is just taken and taken and taken.
What a valuable lesson you've learned.
I hope so, Grandmother. So I thought of home. I thought of you. Thought of Asa. The servants. My father. Especially my father. I demanded that he give me my half of the inheritance, and I left. I left when he needed me the most. I rewarded his love with selfishness. So I swallowed up my pride, came home, and I asked for his forgiveness. And here I am.
Oh, son, what a long journey you've had.
I know, it's too bad, really, that sometimes you have to go so far and lose so much to realize the lesson was in plain sight every day of your life.
I know. It's true. But sometimes that's the way it is. But I'm so glad you're home. And I'm glad you're safe. And I don't think you're quite as stupid as when you left.
I hope not, Grandmother.
Well, now that you're back, what do you plan to do?
I'm willing to work and do whatever they need me to do around here.
That's good. But you know, not everyone is glad that you come back.
How do you mean?
Well, your brother.
Yeah.
I don't think he has smiled a day since he ate those green apples as a child. But then there are others in this household that were not happy to see you return. They've never forgiven you for leaving.
I know. I definitely have some fences to mend.
Yes, you certainly do. But I think you can do it. You know, I probably better call my nursing staff before they come looking for me and they think I've regained my sanity. Deborah! Deborah, dear. She loves it when I call her dear.
Yeah.
Reba! Esther! Now there is a sharp girl.
I know. I gotta talk to her.
I can help you, can I?
I don't mean like that.
Oh, okay. Well, just watch her, they come.
Yes, Grandmother.
Oh, Deborah, I finished talking to, what's your name again?
Nathan.
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 You remember what I said, don't you, Nathan?
Yes, Grandmother.
Good, because I'm not sure I always remember. Well, girls, I think I need your help. Oh, my grape. I forgot my grape. Oh, Deborah, I need your help. Deborah. I don't think I'm gonna be able to walk here. Oh. Oh, maybe you could bring me a cup of hot tea?
Yes.
Be sure it's hot.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, not so fast here.
Yes, grandmother.
Where are we going?
Up to your room, grandmother.
Oh, okay. I'd like to go now.
Yes, grandmother. We're going.
Okay. Could I have some tea when I get up there?
Yes, grandmother.
And would you rub my feet?
We'll talk about that one.
Well, grandmother seems to be a little more trouble these days.
At times, but not always, though. Sometimes she rarely asks for us. I think she's just getting old.
Esther,
Yes.
I'd like to talk to you if I could. I just want to apologize for the way I treated you a couple years ago.
That's okay, sir. I understand.
Yes, perhaps, but I owe you an apology. I mean, I was drunk when I came home that night, and the way I treated you was unforgivable. And the next morning, I just thought it was beneath me to apologize to a servant.
Well, you've apologized now.
I guess that's one thing I've learned over the last 3 months.
That's not an easy one.
No. It wasn't until recently that I thought of a servant as just somebody that got things for me. It wasn't until I was starving and broke that I realized that servants have feelings, that they're people too, and that their pride can get hurt.
You've learned a lot, Master Nathan.
Well, I needed to.
Well, I better take grandmother her hot tea.
Yeah, didn't mean to keep you. Oh, but Esther,
Yes.
I don't know exactly what my status is around here. I know my brother's not at all happy that I've come home, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to stay or not. At any rate, regardless of what happens, I just hope that you can think of me as something better than I was.
I do, Master Nathan. I can tell you've changed.
Then we're friends?
Oh, but I'm just a
No,
servant.
no more labels. We're friends.
Friends.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Asa. I've been wanting to talk to you.
I've been looking for you too.
Good. Well, then let's talk. You're looking good.
Thank you. So, you've come back.
Yes,
To stay?
if I may.
You can stay all right. Father's still alive.
And if you weren't,
I'd kick you out today.
well, at least you're being honest.
Yes, I am. I don't feel like we owe you anything.
But I'm not asking for anything.
Why did you come back?
All I'm asking is for a chance to show you that I've changed.
And I say you've had that chance and you failed.
Yeah, I know I failed. And I'm really beginning to realize how much I failed. But that's why I came home.
Ha!
You don't believe me?
No, I don't. If you hadn't lost all your money, would you have come back?
No, probably not.
No, of course not. But now that you've wasted everything, now that you're starving and penniless, you come back with this story about how much I've changed. Do you really expect us to believe that?
Yes,
Why?
because I'm telling you, I'm giving you my word.
Your word? What's that? The word of a beggar. The word of somebody who's wasted everything.
Because I'm your brother, Asa. I'm your brother. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
No. You stopped being my brother the day you left here. You left at harvest time when we needed you most. And some of the money you took, we could have used to bring in the harvest. And when we couldn't, I remember working from dawn until dark, desperately trying to bring in the crop before it rotted in the field. And I thought to myself, the man who did this cares nothing for his father or his brother or his home. He thinks only of himself. Well, let him. May he never return. From that day on, I had no brother.
You really feel that way?
Yes.
And there's nothing I can do to change your mind?
No.
Not even if I start to work and show you how much I've changed?
As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing you can do to change what happened 2 years ago.
I'm not asking you to accept who I was 2 years ago. I'm asking you to accept who I am today and see that I've changed.
I see no difference.
Just give me a chance to prove it.
And I say you've had that chance.
May I come in?
Of course, Father, I was just leaving.
Oh, Asa, would you mind staying for just a few minutes? I thought the three of us ought to have a talk.
Whatever you say, Father.
Thank you. I thought the three of us ought to talk about how we're going to run things around here now that Nathan has returned. Now, he says he wants to work as a servant, but I told him he's my son, and as long as he lives in my house, he will be treated as a son. Now, to start off with, I thought that maybe Nathan could help me around here. And then after a while, he could help you run the North Farm. What do you think?
Whatever you say, Father.
You don't like that idea?
No, it's all right.
But something's bothering you, son.
No, nothing. I'll be all right.
Please, tell me.
I'd rather not.
It's me, Father. I'm the reason why Asa's upset.
In what way, son? Asa?
Father, I'd rather not talk about it.
Now, if you have any differences, the two of you should work them out right now if we're going to live and work together peaceably.
We already have.
Well then,
It's not just Nathan I disagree with. It's you too, Father.
in what way?
All right, I'll tell you. I don't feel the same way that you do about Nathan returning, coming back. I think it would have been better off for all of us had he never returned.
But he's your brother. He was lost. He was gone, but now he's back.
And that's why we have a big celebration for him? Is that why we killed the fatted calf? To celebrate the fact that he spent all his money on harlots and drunken parties?
But son,
Father, I have worked hard for you. I've worked from morning till night, day in and day out. I've worked in the fields until I almost dropped from sheer exhaustion. But did I ever get a party? Did you ever honor me with a celebration? No.
but son, that day will come. You've worked hard. Now, son, all I own, everything that I have, will be yours someday. Now, surely you don't begrudge me the happiness that I feel that now that your brother has returned. Now, I know Nathan disappointed you when he left 2 years ago. I was disappointed too. But he's my son, and I love him. Should I stop loving my son, or should you stop loving your brother just because he hurt us?
If he doesn't show us any respect, yes. You can't keep giving and giving without expecting anything in return.
But that's the nature of love, son. To give and to give and to give and expect nothing in return.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't keep reaching out a helping hand when it just gets trampled on again and again. Eventually, you have to withdraw, if for no other reason than to preserve your own self-respect.
But son, there are some relationships you just can't walk away from. From the cradle to the grave, you are my son. And Nathan is my son. And I am your father. And he is your brother. Nothing will ever change that. But sometimes to preserve that relationship, you can only do that through love.
Even if it isn't returned?
Yes, even if it isn't returned at the moment. It takes real courage to love and be rejected. But someday that love might be returned.
Father, it's ridiculous to believe that.
Is it? When you go out into the field every day, do you worry about whether you have a job or not?
Well, no, I don't.
Why not?
Well, because
because you don't think I would disown you.
Well, I don't think so.
And you believe that someday you will own this farm.
Yes, I hope so.
Why?
Well, for one reason, because I've worked hard. I've worked very hard.
Yes, you have. You've worked very hard. But you would have to work 100 years to make enough money to pay for this farm.
Well, I guess so.
Now, you will own this farm someday, but not on the basis of your hard work or your talent, but simply because I love you. No other reason. And for that reason alone, I will give it to you. Because you believe my love will never change. And isn't that why you go out into the fields?
I suppose so.
Now, Asa, what about your brother? Doesn't he deserve the same consideration that you do?
But he didn't earn it.
Perhaps not. But that's what I'm trying to say. You don't earn love. It is simply given. The important thing to remember is that when Nathan was gone, when he left, he knew that I loved him. And when he reached the end of his resources, it was the memory of that love and the hope that it would still be reaching out to him that brought him home and kept him from sinking any further. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, Father, I do. But I'm sorry. I just can't change the way I feel. Not yet.
Son, I'm sorry that we didn't give you a very warm welcome.
Well, I really didn't deserve any better. I mean, perhaps I should have never come back.
Don't worry about Asa. He'll be fine.
It's not just Asa. It's Deborah and the rest of the servants. They all seem to resent the fact that I've come home.
Well, that's just something you're going to have to get used to. Do you remember when you were a boy and you pounded those wooden pegs into the wet bricks we were drying in the sun? You were sorry about that. And you helped us. You pulled out the pegs and helped us fix the bricks. But then you said to me, Father, but you can still see where the holes are. And I'm afraid that's the way it's going to be now. There's some people that aren't going to believe that you've changed. They'll still see where the holes are. But you'll just have to forget about that.
I just wish I never left. And perhaps you should have listened to grandmother when I asked for my half of the inheritance.
But would you have stayed if I said no?
No, probably not.
No, I don't think so. You see, son, when you were a child, there were times where you would wake up in the middle of the night screaming because you were frightened. And you would run to my room, and I would hold you. I would hold you while you calmed down and felt safe and secure. And it was at that moment that I wished, I'd hoped that I would always be there to protect you and calm you with your fears. But I just can't do that, son.
No, I guess you can't.
You see, one of the most important lessons a parent must learn is that his child is an individual with his own thoughts and ideas. And someday, you'll have to take your hand off that life that you were trying to guide and let him make his own path and his own destiny.
So that's why you gave me the inheritance when I asked for it.
Yes.
But I wasted it. All of it.
I know. I was afraid that would happen. But I felt that you had finally reached an age where I had to let you make your own decisions, whether I agreed with them or not.
I just wish I would have paid more attention to the lessons you were teaching me back then.
Sometimes the lessons in life are very expensive. Sometimes they can only be learned through pain and suffering.
Yeah, I guess so. But Father, do you think I should stay?
Son, you've traveled a long and lonely road, and I'm glad you're home. And I see no reason why you should leave.
Let's just bring the music down for a minute. Let me just close this with let me just say a couple of things. This is one of, if not one of the most important stories Jesus ever told. He told this story for a very special reason. He wanted us to understand the depth of the Father's love and the depth of his forgiveness. Now, Kelly played the prodigal tonight, but in all honesty, we've all of us have been a prodigal. Listen, we don't need a preacher on Sunday morning to tell us we're sinners. We know that. And we all know And we've all been at the place in our life. I know I have. Does God love me? Why should He care about me? Am I worth God the Father loving me? And when you ask yourself those questions, just remember the story of the prodigal. Probably none of us have gone to that extreme distance of sin in our lives. But we see in the story of the prodigal of God's forgiveness. I don't deserve the Father's love. I've wondered many times, am I worthy of His forgiveness? I've failed. I've failed horribly. I wouldn't want my story up here tonight. Probably you wouldn't either. The good news is, I don't care how far you've wandered, how far you've gotten away. God the Father loves you. And Jesus told us this story. Sure, there would be no doubt in any of our minds. So I want to have a word of prayer. I want to pray for all the prodigals out here. And I want to let you know right now that it's time to get on that and make your way home to a Heavenly Father who is waiting with arms open wide, waiting for you to come to Him. You won't get too far down the road until the Heavenly Father will begin to run to you, to embrace you. So let me pray for you right now. Heavenly Father, we're all prodigals. We all need the Father's love, forgiveness, acceptance. We're so thankful, God, that you've welcomed us into your family. We're part of your family. And that's what you want for every single one of us, to be part of your family. Thank you for this story that you told us so that we would know the depth of your love. Lord, if there's someone here that needs to just say, Lord, I'm coming home right now. I'm going to set out for home. May they know the love of falling into the Father's arms this day, this evening. I pray it in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Okay. Now I know you want to show your appreciation for this cast. Didn't they do a great job? Come on out here, cast. Come on out here. Come on out here. All right. And we couldn't have done it without Kelly. Where is he? Over here. Good night. Thank all. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. We have my wife Cindy, who did all these costumes and the set. And here she is. Yes. And Charles, who helped us with the sound. And how about the people who did the meal for us tonight? Yeah. And those who were working on the video. Thanks for all your help. Thanks for everyone that came tonight. God bless you. Good night. Yeah, let's get a picture. We're going to get a picture.